powdering my face.
We were just talking about the fact that I just ran to the bathroom because I noticed that my face was kind of shiny. It still looks kind of shiny, guys. I don't know what's going on. I did go and I literally went to powder my face. Still looks a little shiny. It's a little warm here. Apparently the oils in my skin have been coming up. I don't know.
You don't look shiny when I'm looking at you directly, but looking at you
in the camera,
screen,
I don't know. Guys, do I look shiny?
A little bit. A little bit shiny.
But hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday Live Haul with LB Pink Panther, aka Vicky, aka Victoria, aka my fiance. I'm just gonna keep saying that forever until like we're married, and I guess I'll just say my wife.
Weirdo.
Right? I don't know. Check this out. I'm just putting my soda in my mug because I don't want to like pour it into the mug because then it like loses the fizzy. But I want to use my mug because it's awesome. Because it's a cat with a burger.
Cheryl says you glow. That must be it. You're glowing. Your inner light is shining through.
I should have been doing this a long time ago. I have like a little handle for my soda can.
You're ridiculous.
I think it's pretty delicious.
If your sister were here, she'd smack you upside the head, put a smack in your lips.
That's true. I have no one to smack me upside the head. Hey, yeah, Melissa says that I am glowing as well, not shiny. I'm not wearing a cat t-shirt today, guys. I'm wearing my Toxic Avenger t-shirt. I'm a pretty big horror fan. I love Trauma Video. I don't know if any of you guys know who Trauma is. They're like a independent film studio out in New Jersey. They do a lot of classics like Romeo and Juliet, Surf Nazis Must Die, and of course the Toxic Avenger, or one of the sequels, which is Citizen Toxie. Come on. Anyway, somebody loves your hair, it sounds like.
Oh, Cheryl. See, I put the purple back in, Cheryl.
Yeah, she did some purple this morning. Maybe the toxic green color is messing with my, maybe Christina, it is possible.
We need to get like a blue screen, or was it a green screen in back of us or something? So everybody doesn't have to look at my rock wall, by the way.
Yeah.
I am the fan, the Poison, Aerosmith, Firehouse, 80s rock girl fan. That's not her. It just happens to be the one big wall in her office that still has my stuff hanging.
It's true. It is going to change because I need to put some other stuff up there, but
I have to figure out where to put it. It doesn't go with the rest of the decor. This was my rock room before it became her office. So,
yeah. But I think I'll have to, I'm more into horror movies, punk music. I mean, I like a lot of different, I like just about everything, a little bit of everything. I'm just not so much into like the hair metal stuff, hair band stuff from the 80s. Sorry, I'm so much younger than you. Like, it's 4 years, whatever, guys. Anyway, yes, the sacrifices we make for love. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. So I don't have a cat.
This disaster that used to be my rock room that is now her office.
Whatever. I am busy making money. Okay, I can't be like being all neat and tidy. Okay.
Why? I am.
Anyway, I'm not wearing a cat t-shirt, but check this out. So when we both have been sourcing like a ton the last few weeks. So with having guests here, having Lauren here, and then my sister, but I still wanted to get some stuff to be able to show you guys for the haul today. And so if you saw my very, very short video from Thursday, I had only a little bit of time because I had to come back. We had to go do something. And so I ended up finding like barely anything. So we actually ended up like going back out last night. It was like, we went like a half an hour before one of the Savers was closing, found a few things there. And then we went again this morning, and which was a good thing we did because at least I found a lot of stuff. You found quite a few things too.
Yeah, not a ton, but what I found was good.
I think it's always fun when whenever you go like thrifting somewhere and like you weren't planning to, or it's like outside of like your normal schedule of doing it, and then you find really cool stuff. You're like, if I wouldn't have gone, I wouldn't have found this. But I did find a new cat t-shirt, guys. It's a pretty. Christiana asked, "Do y'all even have a cat?"
I hate cats.
Okay. She does not hate cats.
I would never want to own one.
She is allergic to cats, so they make her.
Even if I was not allergic, I would never want to own one. I do
Cats are awesome.
Cats. I don't like them. Indifferent. I like to cuddle my animals. Cats
like to cuddle.
Not all.
Anyway, I grew up with cats. Our dad wouldn't let us have any other animals, but he like compromised by letting us have cats. So I grew up with cats, but we have dogs now, and I prefer dogs.
We have 2 dogs. We used to have 3. I had to put one of my babies down just last month, so it was pretty hard. But she was a little old lady.
Yeah. So I gotta show you the t-shirt I did find out. It's a little on the small side. It's a medium, which is normally my size, but this one's like more of a small medium. So good thing we're doing kind of the keto thing right now, trying to lose a little weight, get ready for the summer. So this should fit me, I'd say, in another couple weeks, maybe.
At the rate she's losing weight. 10 pounds in 5 days, people.
Whatever.
She's like a boy. Really?
Yeah. Whatever.
All my girls that know how difficult it is to lose weight, 10 pounds in 5 days. I lost 4 pounds in the same period. And that was huge, but it was just like that jump start, it's water weight. Yeah.
First of all, I'm way taller than her. I have a half foot on her, so I'm going to lose a higher amount than she is in the same period of time.
I only have 10 pounds to lose.
Second of all, I love me some beer, and I pretty much would have at least a couple beers like every single night. So when you like cut that out, I mean, for me, it's like I'll lose weight right away. So, okay, check it out. Check it out, guys. Politicat debate. Look at it. Look at those kitty cats. Look at them. Yeah, so I'll probably have to be wearing this like sometime, maybe 4th of July or something like that, right? I mean,
I already bought a 4th of July cat shirt. How many do you need?
Is there a limit on how much I can love America?
I think she's gonna have costume changes. How much I can love America. She have costume changes for the 4th of July.
Clearly are not a patriot.
I guess not.
Okay. Anyway, so we're going to show you guys our solds today, and then we're going to show you some cool stuff that we found. I think that we're going to have a pretty good show for you today. Thanks again for coming. As I say many times before, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Make sure you click on the little bell icon, because that will make sure that you get notifications when I upload new content. So you can always keep on top of stuff when it's coming out. Go ahead and like this video if you like it so far. Maybe later you'll want to download it, because you'll be like, what is this crap? I didn't sign up for this. I don't know.
Probably.
But you're allowed to have your
think
opinion.
We're funny
and you know why you can have your opinion? Because this is America. Okay?
And she'll celebrate that for an entire month in July.
It's America 365 days a year in my heart.
Oh.
Okay? I don't know how she lives with me, but
I don't know. Really don't. Really don't.
Barbara says she can lose 10 pounds in a week if she doesn't drink any soda. Yeah, see, it's like with drinking beer, it's just like mindless calories nonstop. But I do love me some beer. I'm not going to
drink a lot of beer, and I allow myself 1 Diet Pepsi a day because I could drink like 12, but that's my treat. So,
Bradzilla, aka Dana, says you can never have too many cat shirts. That is so true. You were so right. I knew I loved you for some reason.
I don't have a single cat shirt. Nary a cat shirt.
Well, we're just gonna have to fix that. We can have some like a matching cat shirts.
You never.
Yeah.
Nothing
like,
matching.
No?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not wearing matching clothing.
No. All right. Whatever. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and go into our solds for this last week. I'm gonna go ahead here and share my screen with y'all. So as you know, I like to buy and sell t-shirts. And so this week I had like this crazy week of t-shirt selling. And so I thought, I should just show you guys like a bunch of t-shirt sales. I actually ended up selling 11 t-shirts since we last did this show. I sold them for a total of $452. So that averaged out to a little over $41 a piece. The lowest price one that I sold was for $29. So I think that's pretty good. I paid anywhere from, I think like 50 cents up to the highest one I paid for was $25. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those. I'm actually, instead of us going back and forth, I'm just going to go ahead and show you like all the ones that I wanted to show you. I'm not showing all 11 of them, a kind of sampling of all the t-shirts that I've sold. And so you can kind of get like a taste of like the stuff that I sell, what it sells for, blah, 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 blah.
And you only paid $25 for one t-shirt.
Yeah, for one of the t-shirts. And it was one that I showed you guys, and I was kind of nervous that I paid too much for it, but apparently I did not pay too much for it. I'm glad I got it.
Because out of the 11, 10 of them were like $2 or less. I'm going to
Yeah, for sure. So. And actually the highest price one that I sold, I bought for $1. So just you wait. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. Here we go. All right, so I've said this before and I'll say it again. People like them, some wolf t-shirts. This t-shirt I actually sold I sold 2 shirts. I'm gonna show you both of them. So there's this one. They're both vintage. This is made in the US, and if you see kind of up close, it's like this whole like Canis lupus thing. Cool wolf shirt.
It's the 3D emblem. Those are the ones that the Harley shirts that sell really well.
Yeah, and then I got this other Gray Wolf t-shirt. And so this one's 90s, made in USA for Bloom. And so I actually sold these to the same person. They paid $29 a piece. They basically made me an offer for both together. And originally they were going to be going to Germany. And then they decided to have them go through like a forwarding service. So they went to Florida. So basically I got $58 for both of these shirts together, and I just packed them up together in a padded flat rate mailer and sent them on over to Florida. But people really like these animal ones. And speaking of animal ones, I sold this polar bear t-shirt to somebody. And this is, I think I mentioned at some point in this last week about the Juanita brand. So this is another one of the tags to like look out for. And they're either made in the US, or sometimes they'll say, assembled in Mexico of USA components. So this is definitely a 90s t-shirt, single stitch. And again, it's just a polar bear shirt, and I sold it for $30. And then let's see, Xerox. I sold a Xerox t-shirt. This one is from the 80s. And I snatched this one up. Now, when I buy stuff like this, a lot of times what I'm thinking is, you never know. There might be some dude who worked at Xerox in the 80s, or maybe he works at Xerox now, and he's going to see this shirt and he's going to want to buy it. And maybe that's the person that's going to end up purchasing this t-shirt. And guess what, you guys? This t-shirt actually went to Oregon, which is where Xerox headquarters are. And I'm pretty sure that's probably who bought it. I believe I ended up with an offer of like $32. It didn't go for the $35.99. Let's see. Somebody had a question. When you sell lightweight, higher dollar items like t-shirts, do you use priority for the insurance or just risk it with first class? Christiane said that. So generally I'll go ahead. Well, okay, if it's in the US, for the most part, I'll just send it first class. I've only ever had one package lost within the US, and it ended up being like a pair of shorts, and it was in first class. It was when I first started, they were only like $14. So it wasn't a big loss. So occasionally, if it's a higher price item, I will put it into a flat rate padded mailer, because those are automatically $100 insurance. But generally I don't. I kind of figure like if I never do it, it's like the one time it ends up not working out for me, I will still have made more money than, because it cost me like what, $3.50. If it's like an 8-ounce t-shirt, it's like less than $4 to ship it. If I do it in a padded mailer,
it's like self-insurance. You're betting that if the one time it happens, you've saved enough money by not doing it on the 100 other times you haven't done it.
Exactly. And I'm not working on such tiny margins where one thing getting lost and me being out even $100 is going to like kill my business. So I'd rather not spend the $2-3 extra dollars that would cost every single time I did that, So for the most part, I don't. There's been a couple of times where I sent a t-shirt that was like $200 where I thought, I'm going to go ahead and put it in this padded mailer. But generally I do not.
I've done it, but usually it's my personal threshold is about 150. If I've sent it in a padded mailer, or, even just sent it in whatever packaging and just insured it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then I have this Stussy t-shirt. This was actually when we had gone to we'd gone like yard sailing, and it was that lady's house where I think her son had passed away, and she was selling all of his streetwear. And Vicki actually bought like a bunch of shoes and a bunch of different stuff, and I found a bunch of t-shirts. So this is like a vintage Stussy. It's nothing like extra special. It's not like that. There was a collaboration one that I'd also gotten there that I'm trying to sell for a couple $100. But this one I sold, I believe I took an offer on this one as well, so I sold it for $32. But again, always be looking out for those Stussy t-shirts. And again, this one says assembled in Mexico of US components, so this one's from the 90s. The next one I sold, Diamond Supply Company. So I wanted to show this one because, Diamond Supply Company, I used to buy more of it. I'm not so much buying it really anymore. It's kind of a mid-level street brand. It doesn't go for a ton. It's not like super in demand. But so I do have some. I'm not really picking it up anymore. But this one I bought when we were at a thrift store in San Diego, I think, or somewhere in California. We got this kind of weird thrift store. It was like huge. It was almost like a warehouse, and they had tons of t-shirts. And I found like 4 or 5 Diamond Supply Company t-shirts that were all 4XLs, and they were all new with tags. And they also had kind of cool graphics on the front of them. So I went ahead, for that big of a size, I went ahead and bought them, and I've been selling them. And this one I sold for the full asking price. It was on sale, but I sold it for $35.99. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my last 2, and these are the ones that really sold for big money. So now this first one, this is San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl, what is that? Super Bowl 19. And this was the 49ers versus the Dolphins. I got this shirt at that great garage sale thing they had at the Silverton Casino out in the parking lot. And if you remember, I bought this t-shirt for $25. It was one of the very first things that I got. And I bought it and I was like, oh, I feel like I might have paid too much for this, but I couldn't get them to come down the price because we were literally like in there earlier than other people. And so they had all day to sell this. I didn't want to pass it up. It was in like mint condition. It looked like it had never been worn, never been washed. So I went ahead and listed it, and it's been a few weeks now, and I ended up taking an offer.
3 weeks.
It's been a few weeks. I ended up taking an offer for $85 because I was, my sales were a little bit slow, and I'm like, yeah, $85 out of 25, that's a great sale. So I was stoked about that and more than tripled my money there. And then this one I'm super excited about. Pearl Jam, guys. Do you remember me talking about this? I had this in a haul video, I don't know, maybe a month ago, a few weeks back, kind of when we were first starting. I got 2 Pearl Jam t-shirts from one guy, and this was one of those deals where we were at a garage sale, and I think they had like a couple of jerseys there, and I started talking to the guy about, the kind of stuff I was looking for, because they didn't really have many clothes there at all. And he's like, oh, well, I've got some t-shirts inside. And so he goes inside and comes out with these 2 Pearl Jam t-shirts, and he's like, oh, they're pretty faded, they're pretty beat up. I'll sell them to you for $1 each. So I got 2 Pearl Jam t-shirts, and this was one of them. And it ended up, it's from the 90s, and it ended up selling for the full $89.99 on sale that I had here. But this is like a tour t-shirt. And seriously, it's just real faded. It's got like, I'm assuming this is like some sort of like bleach spot there, a little bit light bleach spot. Yeah, a bunch of little bleach flecks. That's all bleach there. And so it's just really, you can see up close, it's just worn out. And I said, in worn out, faded, rock and roll condition, bleach stain. See, you got to kind of put a spin on it, guys. But anyway, made in Canada.
It's been sweating at lots of shows.
Absolutely. It's somebody paid $90 for that t-shirt. So anyway, so that's just a little synopsis of my t-shirt adventures for the week. But I mean, to do $450 just from t-shirts, I was pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead and start with Victoria's sales for the week, and she's got a few things to share with you.
Okay, so for the most part, Coach has kind of jumped the shark on sales, but you can get some good vintage stuff or the full leather stuff, and it will still sell well. Now, we talk about selling from our own closet. This was mine. I have or had about 15 or 20 Coach bags. I used to love Coach. I used to buy the really good leather ones. I used to go to a Coach outlet and buy some here and there. So I've had this. I think I bought this 10, 11 years ago at the Coach outlet with a coupon for maybe $70. And I sold it for $70, and it's been sitting in my closet for 6 years because Coach is just kind of not real cool anymore. I don't use it. And yeah, it even had some little paint on the bottom because of it was resting on top of some metal bars in my closet, and they kind of left a mark on the bottom. But anyway, it sold for $70. Other than that, the marks on the bottom was in great condition. So yeah, $70 were like sitting in my closet for like 5 or 6 years.
You were like going through your closet and pulling out like a big whole pile.
I listed like 10 about a few weeks ago, and I sold a second one this morning for a little bit more money. That was a black one that's similar to that. So.
Big Drip Thrift says she's never carried a purse. Neither have I. I have a tiny little wallet that I have in my back pocket. Although Vicky does make fun of me a lot because when I have like my pockets are full of like receipts and keys and stuff like that.
I swear her pockets add like 10 pounds right there.
Whatever.
She's got so much crap in her pockets. She's like a 13-year-old boy. She needs to have like a slingshot sticking out of the back pocket.
Hey, I'd be down with that.
And a little beanie hat with like the spinny propeller on, because that is exactly what I think of when I think of Katie walking down the street.
Now that's taking it a bit too far, guys. All right, next one.
Okay, so Coach bags are not some we have to worry about with being fake and getting taken down. Well, since I purchased these myself and I owned them, I know that they're not. I know that they're not fakes. And sure, Coach can be faked, and there are a lot of fake Coaches. But if you know the bags well, they're pretty easy to spot. If you don't know them well and you're not 100% sure on the authenticity, then I generally say don't even bother buying them because they're not usually selling for a high dollar amount. But if you know the product, then like anything else, it's pretty easy to tell when they're fake. I've never had anything taken down for fake. And I've sold Louis Vuitton, Coach, Kate Spade, which all three are faked very highly.
If you don't know, definitely ask somebody. But obviously, in this case, Vicky's had some experience with it, and like she said, she bought them herself, so she knows for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these were mine, so I didn't need to worry about those in general.
Heather says you just need big pockets. That's true, and that's one reason why I hate women's jeans, because for some reason I'm like, what about when you want to put your hands in your pockets? Like, I get it. Women have purses. They don't need to have big pockets, whatever. But
I don't like big purses either. That's another reason why I get rid of that. I tend to carry those little wristlet things just because I'm always doing something with my hands, and I can't stand to have a bag hanging off my shoulder and bumping into crap.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so this isn't a huge sale. It sold for $48.97, just the price you see there. But here's the thing. I've already sold about 5 or 6 of these things. I bought them they were $5.99 each, and I think I bought 20 of them, 15 or 20 of them at Savers at least 6 months ago. And then I had my 20% off, probably even 30% off coupon at the time. They were still doing 30% off. And these are new in the package. It's super, super high-end dollhouse furniture. It's cardboard crap, really. Look at the little puncture put together.
I think
cardboard,
they're cute.
foam board crap. But in any case, I think people are buying them both for that line and for architecture, doing real to life architecture stuff. I've sold, I think I've sold 4 or 5 of them total, and I've sold them all for at least $49, $50, $60, depending on the level of sale I have going on. So really what I wanted to say about that is when you see things that are new in the box, do a little bit of research and see what they're worth. If I were open in this category, I probably could have sold them for more and sent them into Amazon. But I'm not, so I didn't, as far as toys go. But it was a bit super easy to ship and list and light and multiples, and I don't know, it was easy.
Big Thrift says the fanny pack solves the problem, the purse problem.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Do not give her any ideas. I really don't need fanny packs too. Fanny packs and
somebody showed a fanny pack. Was it Lynn, or who was it? Showed the fanny pack that was like
Kelly had one that showed one that had cats, and then someone else showed one first.
I need me a kitty cat fanny pack, guys.
You people encourage her way too much.
All right, next.
So this is just a vintage.
See, wait, Christiane says that they're back style, and they are back style. And I was saying this to Vicky the other day, and she's like, yeah, ironically. I said, no, people are seriously wearing fanny packs, and it's not an ironic hipster thing.
Young, a little streetwear wearing.
Actually, it is not young necessarily. No,
you're too old.
Not young. Streetwear is very popular for all ages.
Yeah,
probably up
ridiculous past a certain age.
Oh, you guys cannot see the faces I'm making right now. All right, go ahead.
This is just a vintage rocker, 80s, 90s rocker fringe jacket. I think I paid $5 for this at a garage sale. It sold for $80. Nothing special other than, again, it's vintage. I've sat on this for at least 6 months or so, and vintage does take a little bit longer to sell. It's a specific buyer. And it didn't even look that great. Like, it was so wrinkled.
Yeah,
like leather. It's got scratches on it.
Well, you do a pretty good job of like really showing like all the flaws and everything. Because you're even showing like
it's not fantastic.
The jacket itself is darker than that, but the way you're showing the pictures, it really highlights the flaws, which is good because you'd rather under promise, over deliver than over promise, under deliver. Because the worst thing you can do is make it look amazing in the pictures, and then they get it and it's just, they're like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of faded, it's got marks on it. You really want to make sure that your buyer at the very least knows exactly what they're getting, or even they're surprised by how much better it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so
it was a punk rock fanny pack with spikes and empty bullet key. Now that is cool.
Oh, good God.
Anyway, okay, so next one.
So this is something that I showed in our haul video a couple weeks ago. I think it was only like 2 weeks ago. I paid $12.99 minus 20% for it. It sold for $89.67 on sale, which is top of the line of where I thought it was going to be, somewhere between $80 and $90. I had a buyer contact me and tell me that one of the issues with this particular model is that the cordless battery does not hold the charge very long. So she had asked me to test it for them. I had tested it to make sure it worked, but I didn't test it to see how long it was holding the charge or anything like that. So I did. So I basically plugged it in, made sure it was a full charge, and then I basically tested it every hour for 5 minutes for like 6 hours. I messaged him back and he's like, all right, I'm buying it. So he did, left great feedback.
Very cool.
Okay, so there's this. I talked about this before.
This is from one of our very first.
Our first haul video, like I think we did before you actually officially decided to do a weekly haul video. So I bought this for, it was on a 50% off day at Goodwill. I think I paid $15 or $20 for it. Took it home, cleaned it up a little bit. It was pretty clean anyway, thank God. And sold it for $122. It was free shipping. I will say it was a bitch to ship this thing, which I knew it was going to be. And of course, it went all the way across the country, so it was not inexpensive shipping. But it was about $38 to ship it FedEx ground. Got it out there, packaged the heck out of it. It was still a good ROI. And it takes up a lot of space, so I was just glad it was out of the house.
Tell them one more time in case they didn't see that show. What is your, not just this one, but there's a different one that they should be on the lookout for?
The one that has 3 pour spouts, the Margaritaville frozen concoction cocktail makers. If you find these at garage sales or thrift stores or whatever, you're going to get over $100 for them every time. This one sold for what? It didn't sell for $148. It sold for $122.99.
It was like $122.
Okay. So yeah, so you're going to get, I knew I was not going to get that for it. I had it up there at a high price knowing that I put stuff on sale. So it's not a big deal. Anyway, yeah, it sold. I was pretty happy with that. I'd be happy with a return of that on something else. This took a little bit more effort as far as the packaging and shipping and making sure, like I double boxed the picture separately from the rest of it. And you've got to be real careful because the body of the machine is really heavy. And then that top piece does not come off, and that's plastic. So if somebody were to slam the box down, the weight from that heavy bottom piece could smash the plastic. So actually it hasn't been delivered yet. I'm hoping it'll be delivered on Monday. Yeah. Let's hope it made it in one piece, but I sent it FedEx ground. It is insured, double boxed, very well packaged. So worst case scenario is it's insured.
So I'm gonna go screen share here. So you said you sent it Now I don't send anything FedEx, but that's because I'm doing all clothing. So I never really have anything like that big to send. And I like to send everything priority. But I can do that because I'm not sending anything super heavy. But you use FedEx ground sometimes when you have really big stuff. How much did it end up being?
Just under $40. It was like $37, $38 and change to ship. But I use FedEx ground myself. I have a business account. I've been shipping FedEx for a long time. So my business account actually is a little bit better of a discount than shipping FedEx direct through eBay. So, and although it's not too bad of a difference because if I'll check both, and sometimes the pricing is cheaper with eBay's discount. But anyway, FedEx ground, not FedEx Smart Post. Don't send anything heavy or breakable FedEx Smart Post. You can send the heavy stuff, just the stuff that's not going to break. Yeah. And right now the FedEx Smart Post pricing has gone up so much that it's really not cost effective anymore. At first it was. I think they probably realized people were sending really heavy crap and they jacked the prices up a few months ago. It's just really not the cost effective savings method that it used to be. So,
okay. So a few weeks ago you had shipped something and it ended up arriving damaged. Was that FedEx ground?
No, that was FedEx ground.
And for some reason, you had shipped it through eBay, even though normally you do it yourself.
Because that time they happened to have a cheaper price. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened is it ended up getting there broken, and she was frustrated because it was like this weird thing where normally she does it herself and she could just go straight to the FedEx website and open a claim. But this was
something, you a check in like 2 or 3 days. It's just like a postal claim. It's pretty fast, pretty easy.
But so tell them what happened with this, because you were worried that it was like there's this weird thing where
it was really weird. I don't know if anyone else has had to do this. This is the first time I've ever had to file a claim when I've used FedEx shipping through FedEx. Well, you're using the way FedEx works is that it's eBay's corporate account. So you're filing the claim through eBay's corporate account. So you can no longer go in and access the claim to see the progression of the claim once it's been filed. And nobody at eBay, including eBay concierge, really knew how the process was supposed to work. They didn't know if the check was going to get sent to eBay corporate and then they were going to credit my account, or they didn't know if the check was going to be sent to me and then I would take care of it the way I normally would. Of course, my customer was refunded right away. But dealing with the claim, knowing that obviously I'm out at the time, it was $100 and something, including shipping. So I want my money back. And it's insured and that's what it's for. So it was a little bit of a pain in the neck.
But at the time you were kind of thinking like, oh, I'm never going to see this.
Yeah.
money.
I didn't think I was ever going to see the money. I was like, this is too much of a nightmare. Even with my messages back and forth with eBay concierge, and they're wonderful, but they didn't even know how the heck it was working. Honestly, it was silly. So personally, I'm probably not going to ship anything breakable through FedEx Ground through eBay. I'll use my own account, just because the headache was a little bit, I don't know.
But you did get your check. How long did
I got
it
the check.
taking?
Same amount of time as it normally would.
Yeah, it all worked out.
It was just harder to file the claim, and nobody knew what was going to happen or what the outcome was going to be. So once the check did come to me and made out to me, not to eBay, didn't go to eBay, then everything was fine. But again, I didn't know how it was going to work. They didn't know how it was going to work. It was not really clear because you weren't able to file the same way.
Yeah.
So
is FedEx Ground automatically insured? Or did you pay for insurance?
Yeah, FedEx Ground is automatically insured. I believe it's up to $150.
Okay.
And then if it's over 150, you can pay too.
Okay. So I just wanted her to tell that story because just in case you've never dealt with it and you're a little worried about it, you're going to send something a little more expensive. It does work. It will come to you.
Yeah.
So don't worry too much about that. Christina was saying.
Questions. Facebook Marketplace 3-spout Margaritaville thing for $135. Should I buy it? Well, I would definitely try to talk them down.
What's the most you would pay for it?
Take a look at the solds. I would probably pay up to about $75 for it.
Yeah.
Take a look at the solds on the and see. It's also, again, take into account super heavy, and shipping is going to be a lot. And if you do calculated shipping, you're going to be pretty far down on the search. But I don't know where you live, so. We live on one coast, so if you're in the middle of the country, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I would try to talk it down because it's very rare that somebody's going to sell something for that much used on Marketplace unless somebody's buying it to flip. That's a pretty high price for them to ask.
Heather wants to know if it's worth opening a FedEx business account. Does it cost anything to do that?
No, it doesn't cost anything to open it. It really depends on how much you ship and how much you use FedEx. I think I'm grandfathered into a pretty decent price discount structure because I've had my account for so long. If I were to open one again based on the volume I do, which is very low with FedEx, I mean, if I ship 5 packages a month, it's a big deal. It's not that much of a discount. Mm-hmm. So honestly, it really depends on how much you ship, Heather, and how many heavy items. I would call FedEx and have them have an account manager talk to you, and they'll tell you. They'll give you the best discount they can because they need them. They want the business, and and you'll know if it's worth it or not.
And more importantly, Big Thrift has 2 velour tracksuits for us.
Listen, she messaged.
If they make it here, if they make it here to this house, you're wearing them with me.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yes, you are. We have people who depend on us to entertain them. I will wear mine.
Hell no.
For a picture? Come on, guys. She needs to wear it, right? Come on. I think so. Everybody wants to see.
I got that message. I saw they weren't matching, I think, but
I didn't say matching. I said they were
like shit brown velour tracksuits.
Whatever.
Picture of
more like smooth.
God, awful.
More like smooth chocolate silk.
Ugh, awful.
I think it would be awesome. I think it'd be really funny.
Don't be shy. I am not shy. Yeah, me and my pink and purple hair, I'm wicked shy. Sorry,
whatever.
That's my Rhode Island.
My philosophy is who cares what anybody else thinks, and if it's funny, it's funny, and whatever. I'm down to entertain anybody. Okay, so we are in the middle of our show right now. We're going to go into our haul part. Oh, you got 2 more questions?
2 more solds, or is that it for my solds?
That's it for your solds. Those are actually your part of your haul. Okay, so we got 54 people watching right now. Awesome. So I'm going to make an announcement. So I can't, we've been thinking about what I'm going to do for future Boss Up and List live shows. And I came up with this idea, and we're going to try it out this week. We're going to see how it goes. I think it could be super awesome. I think it could be a great learning experience for people. And so basically what we're going to do, I'm thinking I'm going to call it Boss Up and List Intervention. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to put a post up tomorrow in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, hurry up and join the group. The link is down in the description. We're going to ask for a volunteer tomorrow in a post. And basically what's going to happen is one person who volunteers, if we have a bunch of them, I'll do some sort of random drawing to pick somebody. They will actually be a guest on our show. So in order to participate, you're going to need to have a webcam of some sort with your computer so you can actually be a guest on our show. We'll do a little interview thing, but you're also going to be sending us a day or 2 ahead of time a link to your eBay store. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a live eBay store review. We're going to go through your store, and we're going to be asking for people who feel like maybe they're not so happy with their sales, or they feel like there's improvements they could make, but they're not sure what to do. And basically we're going to do a live store review. And
it's going to be a teaching moment.
Yes.
Katie and I both like to teach. I've been doing this for a really long time. and been through a lot of changes on eBay and what I sell and how I sell it, as well as eBay has changed so much since I've started. And you just have to learn to adapt with the changes. And some people adapt better than others. And some people are not quite, just can't quite catch on to what's happening, and they're learning, or they're new, or whatever. We all have something to learn from each other, and people ask for help all the time, both in this group and in other groups I've been in. And Katie is somebody that's just like only been doing this for a couple of years, but is so good at what she does that I think we both have something to offer if we can help somebody to be a little bit better.
Well, I think it'd be helpful for everybody. You know, I know there's other people out there who do store reviews. They do them in private. A lot of times they charge for them. And I just think this is a great opportunity for us to all learn from each other. It'll be a great way to meet other people within our community. And, you know, listen, I promise that we will be very kind. It's not about, you know, tearing anybody down.
Exactly. We'll be gentle.
We will be gentle. Exactly. We're going to be going over through, we'll look at your store, and we're going to do it. Like I said, here live, we'll show your store on the screen.
Right. So you won't be able to hide. We'll show your store.
You won't be able to hide. So you're going to have
show
to be
some examples of your listings, and maybe we'll tell you what you can do to improve specific listings, or maybe your overall store appearance, or
it might be your pictures.
Your policies are wrong, or maybe you're not mobile friendly, or maybe your pictures are not squared, or
maybe you're just trying to sell stuff that just isn't worth
that sucks
your time.
That nobody wants.
Yeah, except for we're not going to say it like that. We're going to be nicer, guys.
I'll have to work on that. I'm kidding. I can be nice. No, but we want to be able to let you, like, if you're selling stuff that you can buy at Kmart, you know, that you bought for $1 and selling it for $7, that's probably not the best use of your time or your money.
Yeah.
So we want to try and help you to make your listings better, whether it's with keywords, pictures, brand names, whatever.
Yeah.
There are lots and lots of people out there that do this. This is not a new thing. Not a lot of people do it live. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody does it live, but
I know Griff over and Lee over on eBay Radio. They do like a dish your listing thing, but it's on the radio, so you can't see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be really help, and hopefully everybody will learn from it. Even, you know, not just the person that becomes our first victim, and maybe we'll do more of them after that. But I'm hoping that by the end of the show, we'll be able to send you away with some really specific, actionable tips of like, you know, here's what you need to do moving forward that hopefully can really improve your sales. You know, if you're part of the boss group, then hopefully you've been doing the Boss Up and List virtual listing parties with us, and hopefully been paying attention to like my almost daily 2 or 2 posts. And if you're following all those things, then I'm hoping that at least some of you are seeing some improvement in like your sales. But this is going to be like really getting into like the details of like things that you need to be making sure that are in your listings to have better listings. And so again, pay attention tomorrow in the Boss Facebook group. I will be putting posts up. And if it goes well,
maybe we'll have more people that'll want to do it. I mean, a lot of people charge for this type of thing, like we said, and we're not looking to do that. This is something we want to do to help the members of the Boss group.
Yeah, absolutely. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow, and because I will be asking for volunteers / victims. We're going to do this first time. We're going to see how it goes, and hopefully, I'm hoping it's going to be a really fun thing, and people are going to get a lot out of it, and then we'll be able to do more of them in the future. But we're going to try it out this week, so be on the lookout for that. All right, so it looks like Cheryl's having some computer problems. Come on, Cheryl. Luckily, she missed like a whole 10 minutes of this amazing show. And you know, once those 10 minutes are over, like you can't ever go back. Oh, actually, you can't go back and watch. You can go back and watch it again. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay, guys.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, well, now let's do our haul. We have some cool stuff to share. Do you want to go first and show us some?
Do you want to do the screen share first, and I'll do the 2 things
What's
that
going
were
on with this?
I'm playing with the nose thing. It's like a little stress ball.
Yeah, it was like some sort of it was like at the Walgreens. It was like donated $1 to some like children's hospital, and you got like a sweet nose. There you go. See,
it's cute.
They can be silly, guys.
She makes me silly. Okay, so yeah, can you share the screen? Because I've got 2 things that I took photos of that were part of my haul, just because they're ridiculous and too hard to.
Okay, hold on a second. Rita says, "What time I work tomorrow?" It's not a specific thing. Basically, all I'm going to be doing tomorrow is putting up a post in the Boss Facebook group. So at any time tomorrow, you can go and look at it and comment on it if you want to volunteer to be on the show. The show that I'm talking about is a Boss Up and List live show, which is always at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays. So you'll have to be available at that time. But again, don't worry about the details right now. I will be posting about it tomorrow. Just at whatever time you're available tomorrow, go look at the Boss Facebook group and you'll see the listing about it. So yeah, Red Nose Day.
Yes, that's what it was for, Red Nose Day.
Okay, so gonna go share this real quick. Couple things that Vicki didn't want to bring upstairs. And hop on over this.
Okay, so this is just one photograph of one of my things I grabbed last week. This was in the wall of bags where the linen things and patterns are at Savers. I got about 8 bags. They worked out to be $1.50 a piece, and I literally have hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 Girl Scout badges. So they're not vintage. They're from like 2010 to 2012 or so, but there are like 1,000 of them. So I am certainly not listing those individually. Cost me under $10 total. I'm going to list them all as a huge lot and let it fly. So that was kind of a cool haul.
How much do you think you'll do?
It's really tough to say. I mean, I'm thinking that I may sell them to someone who wants to piece them out. I think that's probably who would buy them, because pieced out, they're like anywhere from $4 to $10 to $12 a piece. I'm certainly not going to do that. It would just take forever. It's just not worth my time. But if I sold them for a couple $100, I'd be happy with that. And then whoever wants to piece them out, you know, they'll make great money on it and I'll make good money on it. So both of us would be happy. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to go for, a couple $100. I may throw them in auction the first week, starting from there.
Very cool.
So
Christiane says, pieced out. Ha, 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 ha. It's spelled P-E-A-C-E. Nerd. All right, next one.
So yeah, I got this one today on our little haul today. It has a little dent on the bread tin, but this is, I think it's vintage. There's no markings anywhere on it, but I think it's vintage. Just a bread and, you know, like, I don't know, canister set. And I paid, it was $7.99. I paid 20% off of that. I'm going to sell it for around 75 or so.
Very cool. I like them. All right, I'm going to get out of I think we're done with all the screen share stuff for today. All right, I'm going to jump in and show some stuff that I found. So actually, this first little chunk of stuff, they're all like related to each other. I just found them today when we went to Savers. And so the first thing is, this is all Harley Davidson stuff. So this is not vintage, but this is like a kind of a heavy Harley Davidson shirt with a Henley collar. And in the back, it's all embroidered. See, it says Harley Davidson motorcycle. So if you've been selling for a while, you probably know that Harley Davidson stuff tends to do really well. Vicki had just mentioned earlier the 3D emblem thing. So if you ever find a vintage Harley Davidson t-shirt, always look and see if you can see anywhere. It'll actually be, it's not on this, but like on a t-shirt, it'll actually be like, sometimes you can see like the copyright information, like somewhere in the print. If you ever see 3D emblem, it's not always on the tag, but it'll be in the actual artwork. That's super important. And it won't always have a Harley Davidson tag. Some of those old t-shirts have other tags and you'll think maybe it's like a fake t-shirt. It probably isn't. Ask us, whatever, but 3D emblem's the one to look for. But even other Harley Davidson stuff usually goes for well. And like I said, this is a nice, really heavy XL. It's all embroidered on the back. It's a Henley collar, so it's a pretty cool shirt. I paid, it was $8.49. I got 20% off that. I used one of my 20% off coupons. And then I got this one. Again, this probably is not, I don't know that this is vintage, but here's the thing. It's kind of like got this acid wash, cool kind of
vintage vibe
look to it. And it's Harley Davidson Cafe, Las Vegas. Here's the thing about Harley Davidson Cafe, Las Vegas. It actually closed a little over a year ago, I think. Because when I looked up the thing, it was like there was some article from like the end of 2016 saying it was going to be closing.
I did.
So,
I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah. So the fact that it's like it's actually closed now might make this a little more valuable. It's all embroidered as well, so it's like really nice, super nice quality.
Vintage.
It might be. I mean,
I don't know. It's been there for a while. It was one of the first. I went there the first time.
It's possible that it's like 90s. I mean, that's totally possible. And the style is very. This is very 90s. It's kind of like acid wash kind of look. But it's a nice, thick, heavy sweatshirt. So I was happy about that.
To answer Christiane, yes, the canister and bread thing is metal. Would I consider an auction on those badges? I think I am going to auction them, Big Drift. I think I'm going to throw them up for a couple hundred in auction just to start and see if I have any bites, just to see if they'll go any higher, because I haven't seen any lots that big ever.
Yeah.
That I could find. So
Heather says that she thought Harley stuff had tanked somewhat.
It has a little bit, I think, but I sell my Harley stuff still pretty consistently. If you get it cheap enough, I mean, I wouldn't pay up a ton for it unless it's a jacket.
Yeah, it just depends on what it is. And it's like, and to a certain, I mean, most people who are really super into that Harley lifestyle, like they're never leaving it. You know, and the t-shirts are always going to be good, especially the vintage ones and 3D emblem. Like that stuff's always going to sell for a good amount. So definitely, and not just, I don't get anything Harley, but if it's something that's like a higher quality, like stuff that's like all embroidered, then yeah. So this one is definitely vintage. This is probably 90s because it's got like a made in the USA tag on it.
That's why I'm thinking your other stuff might be, just because it's all from the same.
It probably was all from the same person donating.
This is Nashville.
Yeah, and so this one is another one. It's all embroidered, so it's not just printed on there. Like this is a nice quality shirt. So another
has that nice thrift store smell.
Yep.
Whatever that spray is that they do just to disinfect from bugs, or I don't even know. But
whatever. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm just gonna stick with that if you want to go to your next thing.
Okay. So I found last night in our little half an hour, 20-minute run into Savers, I found 2 pretty cool handbags. Again, I have more handbags than I know what to do with, to be honest with you, but they do sell pretty well. This is a brand that I just tend to look through the racks for stuff I recognize, yes, but also really nice quality leather. And usually if I find something that's quality leather, I'm going to grab it. Even if I don't know the brand. In this case, we didn't have a lot of time, so I didn't look this up, and I would have gotten it had I looked it up, but I did pretty well. So the last, it's A. Bellucci. It's Bellucci.
Put it up in there.
Yep. A Bellucci. And it's a made in Italy purse, and it's a really nice quality leather. I mean, if you sell handbags or you know handbags, you'll tend to know what feels good. You know, it's thick and it's, you know, pebbled leather. It's not a fantastic color, I don't think. I mean, it's kind of like that mustardy yellow, but there are no defects. In any case, I paid about, I paid 20% off of $7.99. I'm going to list this and sell it for anywhere between $75 and $100. So that was a good grab. Some of the bags sell really, really high, but this is not a huge bag. And I think it's kind of a specific color. So I'm not, if it were black or brown, I think it would go for more. This one, I paid 20% off of $5.99. This is a pink, definitely 80s patchwork leather. It's like it's got this little strappy thing. And this one is a Carlo Fiore made in Italy. And I paid, like I said, 20% off of $5.99. I'm going to sell this one for about $50. It's just like an envelope clutch purse, and it has a removable strap. It's kind of cool. Very vintage 80s.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Let's see. This I grabbed today. So this is one of those like QVC special things. It's a New Wave Pro. Basically what that is, it's an induction. It's a cooktop oven. It's like one of those.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. But what I wanted to say is don't pass up the small appliance section. You never know what you're going to find there. Lots of KitchenAid stuff that I found cheap or in the box, Cuisinart stuff. And then this type of thing. This is pretty small. It's not that hard to ship. This is new, actually, in the package. It's never been used. It has all the instructions and all this kind of stuff.
This might actually fit in a medium flat rate.
It's a little wide because it's round. It may not. But like, yeah. Anyway, so I paid 20% off of $12.99. I'm not sure which model this is specifically, but this will sell anywhere from $60 to $110. I didn't have time to really look it up and see which model it was. So depending on which model it is, and it has this little fancy carrying case. So pretty cool.
Very nice.
All right, you can go now.
All right. Hey, Dorothy. Dorothy just joined us. All right. So today, I found this today. So I never buy women's stuff, and usually if I happen to find women's stuff, I will give it to Victoria. But I was overlooking in the men's jackets.
Stingy with this one.
Yeah, I am. There are some jackets I will go ahead and sell myself. That's women's stuff, and usually, like if it's a motorcycle jacket, I will sell it myself. And this happens to be a motorcycle jacket. It caught my eye because it does have the armor in it. So you've got the padding or whatever, and the elbows and shoulders. Yeah. And then I looked at the brand. Zip this down a little bit. And this is actually BMW. Hello. And yeah, it doesn't have like a lot of branding on it. It's kind of an interesting jacket. It does say here the BMW. I don't know if you can see that. It's like Motorrad. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. That's kind of like their racing division. And so this is a street motorcycle jacket for women. I looked it up. I mean, when I bought it, I didn't even look it up because I knew it was $19.99, 20% off of that. I knew BMW stuff, branded stuff, always does really well. And so, and then motorcycle jackets in general. I mean, they're not all created equal, but when you find ones that have the actual armor in them, they tend to be better. And then depending on what brand they are, and of course, this is BMW. So I would say I'll have to do a little more research, but at the very least, I should be able to sell it for $100, $150. There are other ones, but I don't necessarily know like what the difference is between all of them, but there's ones that go for hundreds. I don't think this is one of those, but at the very least, I should be able to sell it for $100, $150. So I was pretty stoked to find this baby. So yeah, always be checking out the motorcycle jackets, and you can always look them up when you're in the store and see if they're worth getting, because occasionally there are ones that just aren't. But especially when they have the armor in them, they tend to go for quite a bit depending on the brand. All right, let's see. And then I'll show you one other jacket I got today. Now, this is not going to sell for a ton, but it still is a cool jacket. It's Gap brand. I paid, well, it was $19.99 with and then 20% off. So I probably overpaid a little bit, but it is a denim trucker jacket. It's got the faux Sherpa shearling lining, and this is like a really popular style right now. Just denim in general is super popular, and this is like just a really nice crisp dark denim, and it's the Gap 1969 line, which is like a little bit of a nicer line. Like I've sold jeans in the past for a decent amount.
It's like their higher end.
Yeah, it's our higher end stuff. And so I saw some that were listed and some that have sold that a lot of people really undersell these. I think I should be able to sell it for around $60 or so with free shipping. And again, it's in really nice condition. And like I said, the style with the collar like this, I mean, any Sherpa, pretty much any, like, if you're out there and you see Levi's, any denim trucker jackets like this, whether they have this, the Sherpa or shearling, faux shearling lining, always get those if you can, if they're not like a crazy amount, like Levi's especially, whether it's like, and they're pretty vintage or not vintage.
They're in style again too.
They're super in style right now. So again, this one, while it's not as exciting as finding a Levi's one, I think I should still be able to sell it for like 50, 60 bucks. And it's in really great shape, and it's got this great dark denim. So I love it.
I'm surprised you wouldn't keep that one for yourself, actually.
Yeah, it's a little big, I think. Anyway, go ahead. Speaking of denim.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of denim and it being in style, see, this I would have kept for myself, but it's a medium, and you know my chest is a little too large for a medium. But this is just INC, so it's the International Concepts brand that's sold at Macy's. Right here. It's just a higher end house brand at Macy's, but they have really well made clothing. And I think if you hang on to your items and price them well, you're going to get a good return on them. A lot of people sell this brand for way too little, but then if you price it high, you're going to get a good return on it. In any case, it was $8.49. I paid, this is one of the nicer ones with this really cool skull thing on the inside, but on the back, it has this whole bling thing. What? So it's a cool trucker jacket with a little bling in the back, size medium. I paid 20% off of $8.49. I'm probably going to list it for like 50 or 60.
Yeah. And we went like, what was it, the end of January, we went to San Diego, and we went at night, we went to go out and have like a drink somewhere. We went to this club, and it was like, we were there, and then we got to a point where it was like after 9 o'clock, you couldn't wear a hat anymore. So we ended up.
And I had a hat on. I never wear a hat, but we had been out all day in the wind, and the wind was blowing. So
and she wasn't going to take her hat off because, you know, she'd been wearing the hat all day, whatever. So we left. But my point is, so we're in this club, and obviously it was kind of like a more like, I guess, cool hip club where you can't wear hats in there. And we were sitting on this couch while we were having a drink, and we were like counting how many people, because it's like we were upstairs, and so these people were coming up these stairs, and we were counting how many people were wearing denim jackets, and it was getting ridiculous. Like there were so many like guys and girls all wearing like denim, some sort of like variation of a denim trucker jacket, and it was like clearly it's back in style again.
Yeah, and that one, it would only make that cooler if it were frayed in some way, and it's not. And I don't know how to do the razor fraying, or I would do it myself, definitely. Christiane, it is a medium, and if you're interested, feel free to send me a message. Obviously, better deals, everything that we're talking about here, would be willing to sell to anybody.
Yeah.
In the chat for friends and family before it hits eBay.
All right.
It's not listed yet. Okay, so I only have a couple more. You want me to keep going or what?
Yeah, I'll show something.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing I have, where'd you go? There it is. Going far away from me. Okay, so this is a sweatshirt I found. I got this a few days ago. And I actually think this is super cool. Okay, first of all, I love it when I find stuff like this because it's not like an obvious thing that they know they should be pricing way up. And not that this necessarily should be priced way up, but anyway, it was only $4.49. So I paid 20% off of $4.49. I think it's super cool. It's definitely vintage because it was made in the British Crown Colony of Hong Kong. So it's probably like, I don't know, when did that stop being considered?
Late 80s, I think.
Yeah, so it might be late 80s,
That's
early
a late
90s.
90s tag for sure.
Super embroidered Mount Blanc. So Mount Blanc is in Quebec, I believe. Are you biting me? She's biting me, guys. Well, I gotta hold it up for the camera. Anyway, Mount Blanc is a ski. Well, I think maybe it's a town, but there's like a ski resort there in Quebec. So it's like got like all this French on it. It's all embroidered. It's got these really cool patches on it. So there's like this Mount Blanc
express tag.
Yeah, this Mount Blanc with a little skier dude, and then like the next one up says, no, I'm not going to pronounce any of this stuff very well. Le Grande, it's the Alps or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, this is in France, more skiing, and then the one at the top, it's in black, so it's hard to read, but it's like Le Troy Valais. I don't know. Anyway, that's also in France.
Vale.
No, it's not Vale. It's not Vale. It's Valles. I don't know, guys. Anyway, another skier. So this is like,
don't ask your Canuck fiance or anything. Go ahead. Such a dork.
Anyway, so yeah. Oh, Mont Blanc is also in France / Swiss border. Okay, Heather, thank you very much. But this is all embroidered. I think it's super rad. So personally, I feel like I could sell this for a lot. But again, it's not like I have any comps to go off of for something like this. Like I haven't looked yet, but I highly doubt I'm going to find the same sweater or sweatshirt. But I don't know. I'm going to try to sell it for like $80. We'll see if it works. I think it's super cool. I love it. I love it. I love finding this kind of stuff. The stuff that like is just weird and unusual and has, I don't know, cool stuff on it.
And it's women's because Express didn't make clothing for men back then. Now they do, but it was Express and Structure. Structure was men's.
Jeans by Express.
That's women's.
You sure about that?
Well, I
understand it makes it, but I'm gonna list it as men's. I'm not gonna list it as women's. I mean, it's not.
It's unisex pretty much.
Yeah, it's probably more unisex. It's like size large. I mean, that's like an oversized large as it is. So, and really the reality is that a dude's going to buy this way before a woman's going to buy it. So, I never list anything as unisex, just so you know, just
because. Don't put it in that category. It gets lost.
And here's the thing, nobody's looking in the unisex category, but women will look in the men's category for stuff that they might like, whereas men are never going to look in the women's. So you're just better off listing stuff under men's.
T-shirts, men's.
Never unisex. All right. So you can go ahead.
Okay. So this is something. So our friend Nadine, who you guys probably know, or some of you may know, she talks a lot about, or has talked in the past about, Target's lines that are specific by designer. This particular one is a Zach Posen for Target, and it's one of the more desirable lines. Zach Posen is a designer, a high-end designer. And Zach Posen and Lily Pulitzer, and there are a couple of other ones that sell pretty well. Massimo, depending on Missoni, sorry, not Massimo. Certain ones sell pretty well because they're limited collections that are done for Target, and once they're sold out, they're sold out. So this particular one is a Zach Posen. It's just a red leather, like biker jacket. It's leather and suede. It's really cool. I paid up a little bit for it. Basically, it was 20% off of $17.99. They're selling for $50, $60, $100. Some people put them in auction, and they're selling too cheap. Again, you don't auction clothing. Very rarely are you going to auction clothing. And this is a size medium. I'm going to put it up for about $150. It's out of season right now, and I think I'll probably sit on it until the fall, but that's okay. Maybe I'll sell it.
Very, very cool.
Another jacket that I would probably keep if it were my size.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing about the whole unisex thing. So if you've ever gone and like maybe you're looking for comps on eBay or you're just searching for stuff for yourself, when you go do a search on eBay, sometimes if the majority, if like the vast majority of the results are in one category, it will actually auto filter to that category. So let's say I look up like Portland Trailblazers basketball jersey. Okay, you'll notice if you search that, it's most likely going to automatically filter it to NBA, like sports and whatever, NBA, and it's only going to show the results in that category, even though if you go and click on all results, there's some people who, for whatever reason, end up putting it under clothing, under like athletic wear, men's clothing, which is a different category. So you want to be careful that you are, in this case, you actually want your stuff to go into whatever category has the most results, because otherwise there's a chance that people won't even see your listing. And so that's actually why I don't even use the vintage t-shirt or vintage clothing categories. So when I list a vintage t-shirt, there is a category that's specific for in men's clothing for vintage t-shirts. I don't use it because I know anyone who is like serious about shopping for vintage t-shirts, they're going to look in both places. But somebody who's just looking for, let's say, a cool snowboarding t-shirt, a vintage snowboarding t-shirt, they may not be somebody who's savvy enough to go in and like actually make sure they're looking in the vintage t-shirt category,
right,
as opposed to the larger category. So I always make sure I don't bother doing like 2 different categories and paying extra, but I will make sure I always go into the category that has the most the most results in it to make sure my stuff gets seen by the most possible, largest possible audience. So anyway,
by the other token, I do use the vintage category, not for t-shirts, but I do use the vintage category for clothing, for pretty much anything 70s and earlier. I know it will go as early as 90s and 80s for dresses and pants and things like that. I put anything from the 80s or 90s into the mainstream categories. Okay. Personally, that's my personal choice.
I can see that.
Anything 70s and earlier, like dresses and jackets and things like that, I will do in the vintage category. I'll still put vintage in the title, but I put it in the appropriate vintage category when it's older than that, just because I think that people are looking for true vintage are looking for things mostly older than the 80s.
That's true. But I still believe that those same people are going to understand that they're missing a whole bunch of stuff if they're only looking in the vintage category.
Sure.
And so here's the thing. What you can do is if you're listing something and you're kind of wondering about this, think about what would be like the most likely search terms that somebody might use to find that thing that you're listing, and go ahead and search it yourself and just make sure that it's not like, just look and see if it automatically filters it to a specific category. Now, sometimes if it's kind of like if there's close to like a similar amount in like different categories, it will show all when you do the search. But there are times where it's going to automatically filter it. So just start paying attention going forward to that anytime you're looking something up, and you'll start to notice that it does do that. It will auto filter.
There is a big difference between women's vintage clothing and men's vintage clothing, and the way that women shop and men shop too. So I think there's something to be said for the differences because of that too. True vintage, or vinties, as we call them, women that search for vintage clothing, and I mean true vintage, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, they are looking in the vintage category specifically because it's held to a higher standard there. Yeah. So we got somebody looking for
well, Nona Jenkins wants a shout out. Listen, Nona, when people ask for a shout out, we give them a shout out, okay? So what's up, Nona? Now, I hope that I'm saying your name right, because if it turns out it's like not, I don't think it's Nona, right?
I think Nona would be 2 N's.
Maybe. It's probably Nona. All right, Nona Jenkins, what's up?
And then we also, I think we've got a new person from Atlanta earlier, D.
Gary? Or Garay?
Garay.
I don't know.
But hi, well, hey. I haven't seen the name before.
You know what? We were just talking about Atlanta earlier today, because I was talking about how like a lot of times when you go to like conferences, we were actually talking about eBay Open, but I've gone to some conferences in Atlanta, and I was saying how whenever I go to a city, I always want to look for stuff to do outside of the area where the conference is, because in Atlanta, it's like the downtown, it's like, man, it's okay. There's like, I swear, okay, Gary, whatever your name is, I swear, like, how many streets could you guys possibly have that go by the name Peachtree? There's like Peachtree Street, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Avenue, Peachtree Circle. Peachtree, and then it's like, and then they like intersect, or some of them go the same direction. Some of them, it's like ridiculous. Anyway, and so I had found this, the really cool like hipster part of Atlanta had pretty much the best fish tacos I've ever had in my life, and it was really awesome. So I love exploring. Especially like it's really fun when you do it by yourself. But whatever. Anyway, hey Atlanta.
So let's see. Nona says, I have a Gucci polo that was washed and shrunk from a large to a small. How do I disclose in the listing? And do I put a small in the title? Yes, put small in the title and disclose exactly what you just said in the listing. Yeah. It has been shrunk. The tag says that it is a large, but these are the actual measurements and it measures as a small. So I'm listing this as a small. Yeah. And I usually put it like, I might put large, small in the title even potentially, or you could just put small. And then I will put in, there's like that little window where you can do the item condition notes. So I will actually put it there. And then I'll also put it down in the description to make sure there's multiple places for them to see it with the actual measurements. So hopefully there's no, and if you're really worried about it, when somebody buys it, send them a message and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you saw that this is actually not like, whatever, you know, you're paying attention to that. Melissa Carver said, my mom just got lost in Atlanta for 4 hours because of the Peachtree roads. See, it's not the dang Peachtree. All right, so I've got two more things. Those Gulf oysters there are delicious. Steamhouse Lounge, Wednesday night, guys, half off on your oysters. We are over the hour here, so I've just got two more things that I want to talk about. Okay. We try to keep it under an hour. Anything that goes much over an hour, we know people tend to tune out and get bored. So we're trying to keep it here. We don't want to. I know. Let's see how many people are still sticking it out with us. 50. There's 50 people. All right. Here, okay? We lost a few. We lost one or two. All right. So these Katie found for me today. So these are vintage. Remember, no pants. I don't do the pants. Nope. Tommy Hilfiger, Carpenter style jeans from the 90s. They got the sweet little flags on the sides and the big flag on the butt. And yeah, Carpenter jeans. And these are, let's see, I paid up a little again for these. These were $11.99 and I paid 20% off, but they are early 90s, maybe even late 80s. Tommy usually has a date on them, so I'm going to check real quick. But they're a size 36. Good size. Which is a good size. They were assembled in Mexico. No. They were made in 2001. So actually, that 0201, really? No. That long? No. That's not possible. It's the wrong date. It's not a date. I'm looking at something that's not right. Because they're assembled in Mexico of U.S. components. They're at least 90s. Yeah, they're 90s. But anyway, these are a good size. So I paid 20% off of $11.99. They're big, they're baggy, Carpenter style. I'll list these for about $60. Yeah. And then my last thing that I got was this super cute little kids. I think it's a kids, or maybe it'll be kids. Carry-on luggage. Vintage bum equipment. Love it. Carry-on roller suitcase. It's super lightweight and it's purple and it's like carry-on size, a little roller. And this was $5.99, 20% off of $5.99. I got this earlier. So very, very nice. Yeah. Yay. All right. I don't think I really have anything that's like, I mean, I've got more clothes, nothing that's like a home run or super exciting, lots of bread and butter stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and couple questions. Oh, we got a couple questions. Yeah. You seem to know jeans. She does know jeans. Here's the thing. I hate photographing them. So what I found is when I very first started, I was doing hard goods and then I started doing some clothing. And what I found is that when there's certain things I don't like to do, I don't usually have like death piles. I don't have like a ton of stuff that gets backed up that I don't list. But I would find that like I would set aside the pants and set aside the pants and set aside the pants. And so I just hate photographing them. It's just a pain. It's harder to do to get a good picture. And so as long as I have other stuff that I can be listing and photographing, why do the stuff I don't like? And since I'm with Victoria, I can go ahead and give her any of the things that I don't want to list. Like I still have a couple. I have this awesome Harlem Globetrotter jumpsuit that's like seriously rad. I still haven't listed it because it's a jumpsuit and I don't want to do the pictures and it's just like a pain. It's so cool. So there's a really good chance that that Vicky's going to end up getting that jumpsuit. It's awesome. I love it. I don't know. I might have to try it on. It might be a little too small for me, but who knows? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I just, for the most part, I just don't do pants. I'm not doing them anymore. Anyway. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. We've got Lorna popped in for about 4 seconds. Hey, Lorna!
Lorna's on the road. She's like going down the beach. I don't know if any of you guys like follow her on Instagram or anything like that. I think she put that picture up on Instagram. She has this awesome picture that she took of her boyfriend Pat and their dog Locket on the beach. And it is such a rad picture.
You need to like submit that to a magazine. That was how good that was.
Yeah, it's a really cool picture. But she's having like great luck. I saw some of the things. She was sending me pictures of a couple of things that she wanted to buy.
Pictures.
Well, she was asking. She was asking my opinion about whether or not she should purchase a couple of things, and I said, of course. So she did find some really cool stuff already. So she's loving doing some thrifting in Oregon. So again, thank you guys so much for coming and watching the show today. We love doing the show for you. And again, if you are not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon next to it so you can make sure you get notifications, and make sure you are in the Boss Facebook group. As I said earlier, we are going to be doing this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be doing the Boss Up and List live show, and this week it's going to be Boss Up and List intervention. We will be looking for volunteers tomorrow, so pay attention on the Boss Facebook group, our first victim. We're going to be looking for volunteers so we can have one person come on as our guest on Wednesday. We will be doing a live list or a live store review, and we'll be looking at your listings, looking at your policies, looking at your pictures, and we'll be giving you very nice but constructive criticism and giving you some actionable tips to take away and make some changes to your store.
Hopefully make some more money.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll make some more money.
Right? So that's what we're all looking for.
Yep. So if that sounds like something you'd like to do, again, pay attention tomorrow in the Boss Facebook group. The link is down below. If you're not a member of the group, make sure you join the group. And tomorrow I will post and I will ask for volunteers. And if I get more than one, then I will do some sort of random drawing to pick our first person. So please pay attention to that. And again, thank you so much for being here. We had a lot of fun today. It's getting a little warm in here. I might have to go turn the AC up. But we had a lot of fun, and we will see all you guys later. So go list and boss up. All right?
Bye, guys.